there's a sign. Foreshadowing. Okay, welcome to FilmDirt at the movies. I've come to a windy morning showing of ALIEN ROMULUS. Please be good. Wow. Okay, welcome once again to FilmDirt, everyone. Wow, that was a really good movie. I've come into the Picture House Cafe bar now to record this spoiler review, so this is a fresh out the theatre instant reaction. So please excuse any background noises I may pick up, and at least they don't play any annoying music in here. Also, I have to state, I'm completely unbiased and I paid for the ticket with my own money. So, very good film. Not the best, not the franchise best, like I heard some sources say. There's a lot of pre-release reviews, wasn't there, that said this is the series' best film. I don't think it is. It's very good, but it's not quite the best. It's the third best for me. Also, you have to take into account that a lot of those reviews that come out before release, they got a free ticket to the film, so take from that what you will. So this story takes place in between Alien and Aliens, and also for this story that takes place quite early in this timeline, it didn't seem to take elements from Prometheus and the Covenant films, which quite surprised me, unless I missed it. If there wasn't any significant input from those films, which might be seen as a good thing, because I'm set on my favourite films of the series, which is Alien and Aliens. So we start this mission with Cailee Spaeny, who's heading up this cast, and I think she was great, as she was recently. I saw her in Civil War. She puts a lot of personality into her roles, and that brings me on to the rest of this cast, which does seem a little bit young to me. And the problem with having such a young cast is that they're possibly a little bit blank, and very little in the way of personality that we've seen previously. But the acting is as good as you can reasonably expect. It would just be nice to have some bigger characters. So it seems that they dock with the remains of the Nostromo, and it's good to revisit old environments that we're used to previously. Kind of reminded me of Rogue One, where we're sort of treading in the same steps we trod in the 70s and 80s, and it's all very familiar and very well reproduced. It did seem like we were actually stepping back into the remains of what we've seen before, only it was much darker, obviously, and a lot more derelict, which kind of adds to the horror element. And the theme here definitely is a return to horror. And in some ways it kind of reminded me of films like 2001 or something from Stanley Kubrick, where there will be some really harsh music that kind of tells the audience what the character is feeling within. So lots of howling there and quite unnerving music, which I found quite nice. And that brings us to a couple of jump scares as well, which they didn't overdo, thankfully. You've got lots of creepy crawlies crawling about, lots of face huggers that are birthed from within the ship. We're starting to see more evidence of what Weyland-Yutani were actually up to at the time. The face huggers look great and very realistic looking, as do the xenomorphs. And I don't think that was the so-called big chap from the first Alien. I think that was his dead body, wasn't it? But it wasn't really out of the ordinary, because I was seeing so many twists and turns here. It was similar in that respect to a video game where you have to complete certain missions and there's another obstacle seemingly in each scene. It just got a little bit complicated here and there with the direction this story was going in. I'm not sure how official this mission was, or are this group of explorers kind of acting privately. The opportunity to revisit the Nostromo is a very nice angle for this film. And in revisiting the past, that brings us on to another aspect from the past where we're reintroduced to, I guess you could say, a legacy character. And I felt Ash's likeness, or Rook as he's referred to here, maybe that's his Wayland name, this CG reenactment of Ian Holm didn't really look that convincing to me. If you look at the behind the scenes material, they actually made a really convincing animatronic xenomorph. I thought it looked fantastic and very real looking. I think they used a man in suit as well, but the animatronic they used did look really good. So they used an animatronic Xeno, but a CG android? Did it really make any sense? I mean, the guy is an android anyway, so you could have made a really convincing animatronic Ash. I think it comes back to the mouth movements, which still to this day, VFX artists just cannot get that down to a point. We still get the uncanny valley, even though it's a broken robot. It's just over-animated. The voice from Ian Holm was great. It was probably a sound-alike actor or probably AI, wasn't it?
Hi, are you FilmDirt? Leroy.
Hi, yes I am.
I'm a subscriber. I heard your voice and I really
Thanks a lot, appreciate it. What's your names?
I'm Chris.
Hi Chris, hi Sue.
Oh, sorry, are you on now?
Yes I am. No, it's fine, I may leave this in.
Oh, apologies. That's fine. Well, nice to meet you.
See you too, nice to meet you. Thanks, take care. Peace. So, didn't think I'd be recognised. That's cool. So overall, I think Fede Alvarez has probably outdone Ridley Scott at his own game. He's brought us a genuine horror film that actually took us all the way back to Alien and Aliens. Didn't look too much like a studio. There were reminders here from Blade Runner, in that the open world was very dark and very poorly lit. They do mention there's hardly any sun. Especially when you take into account that Ridley Scott did still produce this film. It's believed that he was supposed to make 3 Prometheus films, wasn't he? But it's so good that this film was given to another filmmaker. And like I said, I don't think it connected really significantly to Prometheus and Covenant. It does still sit in between Alien and Aliens. Unless you take into account the end villain, which kind of looked like Slender Man, and that was quite scary when you've got a spindly, very thin looking humanoid. Kind of looked like the beast in Alien Resurrection, didn't it? And also the engineers, of course. So quite a few reminders. The main villain was Ash, and at least we can see here, the real motives of Ash, also revealed in the new synthetic. And it just shows you that technology can flip either way, good or evil. If you do a software update, you're quite scared of what your new device is going to turn into. So let's give this a score. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It's very good. Not a series best, but a clear return to form for this franchise. And that is such a relief because we've had a few films now which weren't really up to par. So looking forward to where this story goes next. So thanks once again for joining me. I'll speak to you again shortly. Feel free to let me know in the comments below if you felt this was the best of the series or if it was the 3rd best like I did. I'm a fan of all the Alien films in one way or another, and I'll put links to all those reviews in the description below if you want to check them out. It was good speaking to you once again. All the best for now, and take care.